this is it. I finally got my hands on Diablo 4. Now, I got the Platinum Trophy for D3 back on PS4, and it was great. I loved it. But now, I've spent the last 3 days playing Diablo 4 as much as I possibly could. So what do I think? How does it stack up against D3? Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so right off the bat, this game was amazing. It blew me away from top to bottom. This had no right being this good. It totally blew me away. The beta kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I wasn't expecting that, and I was hoping the story would continue in that direction, and it did. So, right off the bat, totally amazing. Definitely would recommend it. Go check it out. But I guess to start, let's talk about the aesthetic. The aesthetic was amazing. So it was more similar to D2. It moved away from the World of Warcraft style that we saw in D3. It was not as cartoony. It was great. I totally loved it. And it continued from the beginning to the end. I felt like every area we went in was like totally unique, creepy. It had me looking at like the environment and what was going on. And every time I'd flip over a body or find a corpse or an armor set, I was like, I just love it. I couldn't stop looking around me as I progressed through the game. I ended up going with the Barb. Kind of a vanilla choice. Yeah, I will play the Necromancer at some point, but I like playing the Warrior. There was no Crusader, so I went with the Barb. That's the closest thing to my World of Warcraft Warrior. I like playing the just sword and board kind of character, so I liked it. It was good, but I basically had to stick to a bleed build throughout the whole game. This game focuses a lot more on dodging mechanics and paying attention to the enemies and what they're doing around you. So that meant I couldn't really stand still and just smash my way through it. You know, you would run around and wait for an opening for a boss for a long time sometimes, and it was just easier to play with the bleed build. I could hit him with my bleeds, run around, dodge. When I had a second to jump in and hit him hard, I could. But that way I kept the damage ticking the whole time. So it was good. I do recommend the Barb. He was great. I had a lot of fun. He's got a lot of good moves. But I felt kind of restricted that, really playing without that bleed build would have been very difficult, and I don't know. I mean, I was playing on the veteran difficulty, so when you start the game, there's 2 difficulties available. You have World Tier 1, I think it's like Adventurer, and then World Tier 2 is Veteran. That's all you unlock until you beat the game, and you beat, like, I guess there's another dungeon that they have at the end of the campaign after you beat Lilith, I'm assuming. So I played on Veteran. It was really hard. I died like quite a few times throughout the playthrough. It was normally when I was playing stupid, but occasionally I did get caught off guard and ended up dying. So I like that. To me, that's not a negative when you die. To me, it keeps it engaging, keeps you focused. You know, when I play games like, and D3 was really bad with this. The first playthrough was so mind-numbing. It was so long. There was no challenge. You never died. Like, you had to try to die. I remember getting people into Diablo 3 saying, like, let me just rush you through this. We need to beat the campaign as fast as possible. It's so boring. It's not fun at all. The fun is after you beat the game. And the few people that I did get through it loved it afterwards. But God, like, it's so awful being stuck playing at an easier difficulty. So I really welcome this. I thought it was great being able to play at the harder difficulty. I had fun. It was challenging. I had to even kind of farm a little bit. The way that they set up the world, it's one giant open space. It's not like D3 where you zone into one and then zone into another and you zone into a third and fourth. You know, it's all on one big map. You have your different hub cities throughout. You eventually unlock a horse, so that helps you get around faster, which is great. They have waystones to teleport around, so you have all that if you want. But within each act, you have like a segment of the map. And as you're doing side quests, you unlock progress within that zone that gives you different rewards. So I think it was like you can get skill points for progressing the side stories, and you also get XP to level up too. But you can get skill points, you can get extra charges for your potions. So, like, for me, I did most of the game with just the basic 4 potions that were available. At one point, I was close to unlocking a 5th slot, so I did that, but I got all the way to Lilith with just 5 potions. So you don't have to do any of that, but it's there if you want to. You know, you can level up your character, get more skill points. You can work on the side campaigns to get skill points that way, to try and beef yourself up as much as possible. So there's a lot to do. The way I chose to do the game is I focused on Act 1, and I continued from there. Like, I did a lot of the side stuff in the beginning, and then as I went on, I just kind of focused more on the core story because I was just too into it. I couldn't stop. I wanted to see where the story was going. The side quests are all very interesting, and they have good payoffs, and I recommend them too, but the main story just really grabbed me. And I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'll let you guys play it. You know, the game is, you know, it's not even officially out yet by the time this posts, so go check it out. I'm going to have more coverage on it later. I'll talk about the spoilers and stuff later, but it was very, very good. I could not recommend it. Playing through it, even on your first playthrough, was so much fun, and I'm really glad to be able to say that. So, as far as the story goes, you see it from the main trailer. The main trailer is actually tied into the story. So you have this guy, Elias. He tricks some adventurers to releasing Lilith, and then the whole game is you kind of like chasing her down. You know, early on you're fed her blood petals, her communion, her evil, messed up communion. So you're chasing her down, trying to catch her to stop her from doing her evil plan, and it's good. You're like on her tails the whole time. Like, it's great. The bosses are amazing. So in the other games, you have your big boss at the end of each act, and this one has it too. Like, as you go through, there are awesome, amazing set-piece bosses. Like, shout out to the Amalgam of Rage and whatever the guy's name is that fights on top of him. But I had that mount in WoW. I bought the collector's edition partially to have that mount in WoW. I didn't realize he'd be a boss. I didn't know he'd be a character in this game, and when he shows up, he's just brutal, and it's totally, totally awesome. I loved it. You know, if you watched any of my live streams, I was saying how, like, you know, at first it started off so strong. Like, I would say maybe as far as my favorite acts go, I would say, like, Act 2 is my favorite, then Act 1, then Act 3 I wasn't as happy with. But then by the time I got into Act 4, this is where I got tricked. Because there's not just 4 acts. I was expecting that to be the end of the story, but that was more like the middle. This game has 6 acts. So that totally throws it off, because yes, there was a little bit of a lull. Acts 3 and 4 were a little bit slower, but honestly, I didn't even realize when I beat 4. I was into 5, and I realized I had the trophy for 4. 5 was great. 6 was great. The end of this game is, like, insane. Like, I plan on posting a cutscene from the end of the game here at some point. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's one of the coolest things I've seen in all of Diablo. Out of all the cutscenes and videos I've seen on this, that was the best. That was the coolest. I love Inarius. I love Lilith. I love what they're doing here. It was just awesome. Definitely check this out. If you have any interest in it, go check it out. You will not be let down. When I reached the end of the game, I was level 38. The last area is 45 and up. So for a while there was like 3 levels behind. I kept watching it as I was playing. I was hoping like maybe I'd catch up. I never really did. But then the minute you tick over into that last area, it jumped up like 8 levels. I was so underleveled. I reached Lilith at level 38. I was able to beat her first phase at level 39, and then her second phase just wiped the floor with me. And I think what I'm going to do now is go back, farm a little bit, enjoy, do some of the side quests, play with some friends, level up, and then try it again. I might do it at level 40, or I might push all the way up to 45, because at that point you get an upgrade to your healing flask. So we'll see. I wanted to get the video out. This has been my first 3 days with Diablo 4. I really love it. It's cross-platform, so if you guys want to play, definitely go get it. Come play with me, okay? You can play at Xbox One, PS5, PS4, PC, whatever you have. that this game is on, it's cross-compatible and it's beautiful. I was playing on my PC, went and booted up my PS5. I wasn't expecting to be able to play my character from the PC on that, but I could. It was there, just like that. I didn't have to transfer any saves or anything. My whole character list was on there, ready to go. So it's really good. This is a awesome game. I love it. It's by far my favorite Diablo. I've played a little bit of 2, so don't kill me. All right, I don't know that game as well, but until next time, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'd be really interested to hear that. So, all right, until next time, I'll see you later. I'm going to go play more Diablo.